This is Chapter 8, Lesson 2 on Complementary and Supplementary Angles. Two angles are complementary if the sum of their measure is 90 degrees. So if you have two angles and they come together and they make 90 degrees, which is a right angle, is complementary. I tell kids to remember it this way. Giving a compliment to someone, it requires you giving it to someone else, and it's kind of the right thing to do, to compliment somebody. It takes two. So it takes two angles to complement each other to form a right angle. Okay? Might help, might not. And then we have two angles are supplementary. If the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. So I tell kids to think about taking vitamins. Vitamins supplement our dietary needs to make our full nutritional value for the day. Supplementary angles come together to form a complete whole line, because a line measures 180 degrees. This may help you, this may not help you, but it's just a thought. Also, C comes before S in the alphabet, 90 comes before 100, 180 in the number system. Just another way if you get confused. All right, so here are our examples. Identify each pair of angles. So we have two angles that when they come together, they formed a straight line. Straight lines are 180 degrees. So if they form 180 degrees, they are supplementary of each other. So supplementary. And then we have B. We have two angles that have come together and they form a right angle, 90 degrees. So they are complementary. So we look at example C. We have this angle measures 23 and this angle that measures 67. We need to add them together. So 67 plus 23 does equal 90. So when they're pushed together, they are going to equal 90 degrees. So it's a right angle, so they're going to complement each other, complementary angles. And D. We have two angles. If we add them together, we do get 180 degrees. So when they come together, they're going to form a straight line which measures 180 degrees, so they are supplementary. Pretty easy so far. All right. We're going to write and solve an equation to determine the value of x. So I have two angles that have come together, and they make a right angle. So they are complementary. But I need to find out what is x. But if they're a right angle and they're complementary, we know that this angle plus this angle equals 90 degrees. So 2x plus 40 equals 90 degrees. Now we're back to solving a two-step equation. Subtract 40 from both sides brings you with 2x equals 50. Then to get the 2 off of your variable, it's multiplying, so we do the opposite, which is divide. So x equals 25 degrees. Okay, real quick, I want to go over naming the angles because we didn't do so hot on that. So just a quick review from lesson 1, angle relations. I'm going to put some dots on our angles. Oops, let me label that one D. And I'm going to name some of these angles. Okay, it's very important that you do this. Angle D. Okay, this could be angle D. I could list it as angle D. I could also list angle ADC. So it's important that when you're listing the angles, you tell me it's an angle, and you're going to follow the letters to make the angle. So you start at A, then you go down to D, then you go over to C. So that equals 90 degrees. I know exactly what you're talking about. Then you have angle ADB. Start at angle at the plot A, go down to D, and go up to B. This is an acute angle. I also have angle BDC. Start at B, from B, D to C. There's another acute angle. Could I say angle ABC makes 90 degrees? I can't, because B, A, B, and C are not connected. Okay, I can reverse it and go angle CDA, and I can reverse all these to go the opposite direction. But as long as you're connecting and you're going with the angles, they have to connect. But you can't do angle ABC. There's no connection there. So when you're listing the names of your angles, make sure that you're doing this. Let's look at our worksheet. We're to identify angles that are complementary, supplementary, and neither. Complementary, remember, to complement someone is the right thing to do. So when angles complement each other, they form a right angle. Complementary is 90 degrees. Supplementary is two angles coming together to form a whole straight line. They supplement each other. So this is 80 degrees, that's a straight line. Neither would be neither one of these. Okay, so let's look at number 1. You have angle 1 and you have angle 2. And it tells me, this right here tells me it's 90 degrees. So angle 1 and 2 form a complementary angle. And then what about number 2? I'm interested in angle 1 and angle 2. I'm not worried about this other right angle. That's not numbered, so I'm not worrying about it. I'm going from 1 to 2. What would this one be? Well, does it measure 90 degrees? No, this side does, but 1 and 2 do not. Does it measure 180 degrees? Nope. This one is way past a straight line. So you would have to choose neither for number 2. Number 3, we're looking at angles 1 and 2. Angles 1 and 2 connect there, so they make up a straight line. So they would have to be supplementary. All you have to do is label those. Number 4, write and solve an equation to determine the value of x in each figure. So, for like number 4, it's 22 plus 4x Add these two together to get your 90 degrees. Now you solve for the problem. You're going to subtract 22 from each side, and then you're going to have to get 4 off of the variable. And remember how to get that off. If it's multiplying you, do the opposite, which is divide. Number 5. I told y'all to remember, just ignore the parentheses when you're making your equation. So I have 65 degrees right here, adding to this angle, which is x plus 2. And what does that equal? It tells me it equals 90 degrees. So in this case, I want to get my whole numbers all together first. So 65 plus 2, 67 plus x equals 90. Now you're down to a single step equation. You want to subtract 67 from 90, and that will give you x, which it should be 23. Let's look at number 7. 29 plus x minus 5 equals. Well, when these two angles come together, they form a line. So we know a line is 180 degrees. So just like we did up here, let's get these whole numbers together. So you would do 29 and subtract 5, and then you can come down to a single step equation. 24 plus x equals 180. So you're going to take 24 and subtract it from 180 on the other side, and you should get 156. And that is your x. Okay? I think that's pretty easy. We'll do 11 just for the fun of it. 92 plus x plus 78. All three of these angles are going to make up a straight line to be 180. So again, you need to add your whole numbers. So 92 plus your 78 is going to equal 170 plus x equals 180. So then you're going to subtract your 170 from 180 and you'll get 10. So x equals 10. Let's look at 13. Angles C and D are supplementary. Supplementary means it's 180. And the measure of D is 45. What is the measure of C? So if we had a line, because they're supplementary, we had an angle that is 45 degrees, and then we had C. This would be D. What is C? So 45 plus C equals 180. You're going to subtract 45 from 180, and you should get 135. And you only had to, we'll look at a few of these. Let's look at number 6. A lot of you guys don't even know what pickup sticks are. I need to bring some and show y'all how to play pickup sticks. In a game of pickup sticks, the last 4 sticks are shown below. Which of the numbered angles are supplementary angles? I am looking for supplementary angles. Remember, supplementary angles are straight lines. two angles that form a straight line. There's a straight line right here. So angle 3 and angle 4. And then you have 1 and 2. That forms a straight line. So angles 1 and angle 2. Notice how I'm putting my angles out here. I'm listing the angles. And then we have one more that forms a straight line, and that's going to be 5 and 6. Oops, I accidentally colored 7. My bad. So angle 5 and angle 6. Okay. Let's look at number 5. A kite string makes an angle of 48 degrees with respect to the ground as shown below. The dashed line is a vertical and the ground is horizontal. How are the 48 angle and the unknown angle related? What is the value of x? Well, 90 degrees is the right angle, so it would complement each other. And the value of x would be 6x plus 48 equals 90 degrees. And let's look at number 2. A map shows a railroad crossing on a highway, as shown below. Which of the numbered angles are supplementary angles? Again, supplementary angles make up a whole line, 180 degrees. So you can do angle 1 and angle 2 that shows a railroad, or you can do angle 2 and angle 3, which is the highway. And I have some people really wanting to get in touch with me, so I'm going to have to cut it off here. And if you have any questions, ask them on Google Classroom.